So in last class, we just had an introduction of why we have to learn loops concepts, then followed by the two types of loops. One is for loop, and we discussed the syntax of this for loop. That is for, so here it is initialization, then semicolon, then condition, then colon, semicolon, either increment or decrement. Then the for loop body, we can write some lines of code. This will be executed for certain number of times based on the condition. As long as condition is true, this will be repeated. Once the condition becomes false, the loop will be terminated. So this is the concept. To understand these loops, we had a practice of some number based printing numbers, same order, reverse order, like that, and some printing only even numbers, sum of even numbers, odd numbers, sum of odd numbers, and sum of all numbers, just to mix for loop with some print function. So we had one more practice question also. So with that, let us move to the character based for questions on for loop. So for that, the requirement is, so print A to Z, say capital A, in next line capital B and all. For writing purpose, I am using the same line approach. So like this, you have to print up to Z. Is it same as integers, or is there any difference when it comes to the characters here? That's the first question. So for this, so just tell me, how do you write a code for this one? By using a for loop to print. So directly inside a main method, we go for loop. It is what type of data? Character. Therefore,
It's character type.
can we initialize character here?
Yes. Before itself we have to.
For example, printing 1 to 10 using a for loop. What will do? For loop int I equals 1. Here, why we are taking int? Because the type of data is integer. Now here, what's the type of data? Then can we go for character is my question.
Yes, sir, possible.
Yes, yeah, yes.
Y-
So it's char, some variable of programmer choice equals, what is starting one? A. So since it's a
A.
character value, it must be in single quotes. Then semicolon. What is second part in this? I should be less than or equals the last value. Since it is in the increasing order, less than or equals to the combination. Then here also A to Z in the increasing order only. Then what should write? CH. Whatever is a variable. Yeah. CH.
Yes.
Which order? Increasing order or decreasing order? Increasing order. Therefore,
Increasing.
less than or equals Z.
Right.
Then followed by, so here what we are going to write? Increment I value each time by how
Increment.
much? I plus 1.
1.
Then loop body. Then here what will write? Print of I. Then here, what is the increment part? CH equals
Ah,
CH plus 1. Correct or not? Because each time you have to
yes, sir.
increment by one character. A after B. That's a plus 1 only. Correct or not? Then inside this body,
Yes.
system.out.println, say print each time the character called ch, each time the variable called I. Similarly, here also each time the character called ch only. That's it. This is what normally we think. But here is error.
Yes.
What's the error? I'm sorry. What's error in this? There is error. It's not correct.
Yes, sir. Because 1 to 3 is predefined, sir. Like from 1 to B, but in A to Z is not pre-programmed in Java.
Mhm. No. Yeah, we can use less than or equals. We can use less than or equals, but the problem is with increment, because here we are performing the arithmetic operation, addition, with what type? CH is character type, but 1 is what type? By default, number is integer. So that's why integer. Then can we perform the addition of character and integer? Directly not possible. Directly it is not possible. So for that, we have one option called as typecasting. There is a concept called typecasting. We can convert one data type to the another data type based on this one. Okay, so its topic is there. If you want, you can explore much, but whatever is required for us, I am discussing that much only. So when it comes to typecasting, if you want to convert the number, say for example 100, normally it is 100, but what kind of result we are expecting? Number as 100 or character as 100? Character as 100. That's why we have to typecast by using a char. So this is one incrementation. So for this, we have to convert the result into char type. It has to be enclosed in parentheses. So then we can perform character plus integer addition, and that result we are converting into character, then come for the comparison of that character with z. So that is a small change when it comes to the numbers in terms of characters. Yeah, so directly numbers, no problem. But when it comes to character and number or integer, then here we have to convert that into char type as a result. That's why it is called as a typecasting, explicit typecasting. Internally, it will not, Java will not do it. By default, it will not do it. That's why we have to convert being a programmer. That's why it's called as explicit. We are doing it explicitly. Clear? So with this, so we get the output as we expect. The output will be for this. Again, we know the iteration process, tracing and all those things. Then here A, B, C and so on up to Z will be the output here. Clear now? Yeah. Am I clear with this? Yeah. So similarly, if you want to print from small a to small z also, same story, but only here, make it a small a, make it a small z. That's it. And at this point of time, it's a right time to understand the next part of it. Can we write this in another way? So for that, let me take you to the next part of it. So there is a unichar value concept is there. So based on this unichar value concept, normally we call it as ASCII value, but Java is little more beyond ASCII. That's why I'm calling it as a unichar value. So for this, if we write, say int some I equals a in single quotes, semicolon. Is it correct syntactical? No, because a is a character, but we are storing into integer variable. Possible or not possible? Similarly, if we use character some ch equals 97, is this is correct? What you are doing here? So it is an integer, but we are storing into character. Possible or not possible? But both are correct. This is correct. This is also correct. Then what we are going to get? For example, if you are printing system.out.println, say print I variable. Similarly here also, system.out.println, print ch variable. What's output you are going to get? So here what do you get? I said syntactically right. Yeah, so
For
here
CH characters, some
we are
gibberish value will get.
we are assigning 97 value to character variable. So therefore, 97 will represent a character internally in terms of unichar value, which is nothing but a small a is output. Yeah. Similarly, a is a character which is assigned to integer variable. This character has some value, some Unicode value will be there. That will be represented as a answer here, which is nothing but 65. Yeah. So here is a point. In data types, if I say this, then the entire data types concept will be confused. That's why it is a right point, a right time to understand. We can store a number into character, but it should not be in single quotes. Okay. So for example, if we are using some char ch2 equals 1 in single quotes, then print ch2. What's output this time? This time 1 only. Yeah, remember there is a difference. For example, if you are using char ch3 equals 97 in single quotes, then print ch3. What's output? All of you. 97 only? Yes or no? You didn't understand data types then. How many characters we can store at one time? Only one.
One character.
Then how many I'm storing? Therefore, this is compile
Two
time error.
character.
This is C means comparison error. So therefore, there is no output for this. Yeah, single character we can store. But while storing some values, then don't enclose that in single quotes. That becomes a internally unique char value corresponding. Yeah. So now, based on this, can we write our for loop now in a different way? Yes or no? What did we write just now? So for loop for character sum ch equals a to start with, then ch is less than or equals z, then ch equals char of ch plus 1 is what we have written. Correct? Then inside this one, so we have printed that variable called ch. This is what we did just now. Now after knowing this information, can we write the same thing in two more different ways? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can write it.
Yes, sir, possible.
So for that, if I go for a for loop, char ch equals a, I don't take
97.
a, but I'll take its value because we can assign a
97.
value to character also, which is nothing but 65 to start with. Then ch is less than or equals, if a is 65, then what is b? Capital A, whose ASCII value is 65. Capital B,
66.
6. And capital C, 67. Similarly like that, capital Y, 89. This, there are 26 alphabets now. We can add 65 to that. 25 to that, we'll get a 90. That's it. Similarly for small a, it's 97. I have written there. Then small b, 98. Then small c, 99. Like this. Small z, 122. 97 plus 25. Yeah, so this is called as ASCII or unique value conversions. This is the unique values. If it is 65, then capital A. Or if it is 90, capital Z. Like that. Now here we started with what? 65. Where it has to end with? Less than or equal to 90. Now
91.
this time, CH equals CH plus 1. Can I write? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this time it is a number. So number plus number, any problem? No problem. So this is the another way to write the same program. That is print of same CH only. Understood? Yeah. Next. What third way then? The another way is, so for loop, this time can I go with int I equals to capital A? Possible or not
Yes, sir.
possible? Possible. Possible. Then next what? I should be less than or equals to Z. Then next I equals to I plus 1. Then similarly print by system.out.println print I value. Correct? Yes or no? So now here is a problem. What do you have to print? If you print I, then 97, 98 only you are going to get outputs. No. We want 97s or we want ABCs? ABC. Therefore, convert this number into character. That's it. Yeah. So these are the different ways. Okay. So whichever the one you understood, you followed that. But this is important. And this we have to remember. Capital A's value will be less. Small A's value will be more. After some days, capital A is 97 or small a is 97 will be having a doubt. That's why I'm giving a hint. Capital A's will be lowest. Small A's will be highest. Starts with 65 and 97. Then what's the next values? Just plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. We'll get it. So 1 plus 26 alphabets are there. Already 1, then plus 25 will give last one. So already first one plus 25 will give the last one. Yeah. So based on this, we can write same order, forward order, reverse order, and all those things based on this. Understood? Yeah. So to practice on this characters, after that first basic question, then let me write a program to print small z in separate lines to small a is one question. The next, so now to this we can add a vowel logic here. Write a Java program to print count of vowels from capital A to capital Z. Write a program to print vowels of lowercase a to Z in reverse order. So what's the output of this question? Yeah, so here A, E, I, O, U. This order it has to print. First U, then O, like that. And here what's the output? Count of vowels from capital letters. How many will be there? The output has to be 5. Only 5 will be there, right? Then this one just printing the alphabets reverse order. The first one, this one, and with vowel logic, which we have done in the previous if conditions. If we mix them, then these programs will be done. Clear now? Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
How to count it? Did you solve the previous one? Here I asked to count of even numbers. No? Then which one I have to explain? This count I have to explain or vowel count? This count I'll explain then. Okay. So here is the doubt of how do we write a count. So for that, so count of even numbers from 1 to 100. So for this, we are writing the code. So first to tell me how do you generate the numbers from 1 to 100? For loop int I equals 1 to start with, then I is less than or equals 100, then I equals I plus 1. Anybody is writing I plus plus?
No, sir.
No? You know it, huh?
No, sir.
Then I'll discuss something,
Uh,
then we'll move to I plus plus concept. Okay. So here is a
okay.
I value. Here is I value is there. Then can we print directly? No. We have to count them. So for counting, by default, the count will start from 0. That's why I'm taking a variable called count and I'm assigning it to 0 as a value. Then first, every I value we have to count, or only if it is even number we have to count? If it is even only we have to count. Then what is the condition? If I mod 2
I
double equals
equals
0.
equals 0.
If it is, this means it is even. Then what to do? Count value, we have to add by 1 every time when this condition is true. Count equal count plus 1. Then outside the for loop, so system dot out dot println, print which variable? Count variable. That's all. This will print the count. If it similarly, if it is not equal to 0, that prints a count of odd numbers as well. Correct? Then, yeah, this is one way. Any other easiest way? Is it recommended? We discussed about this. Is it recommended or not? We discussed. This loop will run for how many times? 1 to 100.
100
How many
times.
times? 100 times. Correct? So, but
Yes.
can we make this as 50 times only? Because we want even numbers. We know even number starts from. So first int count equals 0 to start with. Then followed by for loop. I know 1 is not even number. Then I start my loop from 2? Yes or no? Then I should be less than or equals to 100. I I know that after if I increment by 2, then only it will become next even number. Can you write like this? Then next, what is
Yes.
that? Count equal to count plus 1. Then followed by print count outside the for loop because it's only one output. This is the recommended approach. Plus
Sir,
1.
is it possible to write first if loop and then for loop, sir?
Yeah, but you have
If
to,
condition and then for
we
loop.
can write it, but we have to understand the flow. That flow is different from this flow. How JVM execute for loop inside if condition is different from if condition inside a for loop. Pardon? Hmm. So it starts from, if it is count of odd numbers, here 1, that's all. 1, then 1 plus 2, 3, that's next to odd number. Only this change you have to make. 1 to 100. But here there also plus 2 only, here also plus 2 only. 1 plus 2, here 2 plus 2. There is a difference. Understood, or shall I explain the tracing process? Hmm. No, then you are missing slowly the logical part. So here, what the numbers will start from where? 2. The next number 4. Then 6, 8, 10. This is only it has to count it. Then you have to count it 2 every time, or you have to count only 1? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on up to 100. How many numbers are there? You'll count 1, 2, 3 only, or you'll count 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6s you'll count, but how many are there? 1 after 1 only, no? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why count equal to count plus 1 here also. Clear, no? Yeah, confused, but same confusion should not be there for second time. Clear? Similarly, in place of this if condition, you have to implement the vowel logic, then increment the count by 1 when it comes to the count of vowels and count of consonants also. Yeah, done with this. Okay. And at this point of time, one more question which I got in one of my previous organizations interview question. The question is, in console, the output has to be exactly like this. So first line has to start from 1, comma separation, comma should be there, then 2, comma, and so on, then 9, comma, 10. After 10, no comma, the next row starts from 11, comma separation, 12, and so on, 19, comma, 20, no comma. Next line, 21, and so on, 91, comma, 92, comma, up to 99, comma, 100, no comma. No space before 1, no space after 100 also. This is the precise output we have to get it, and it can be done with the help of for loop with if conditions. Understood? Question is clear? What to get it in the console? It should be in the console, in the output area. Yeah. Think of what is the logic that you'll write for this. Okay. Next. Next, we'll go to some of the most frequently asked interview questions on only for loop. That is, write a Java program to print factorial of a number. Factorial of a number. This is the question. So first, before we go for Java program, what is the meaning of a factorial? Yeah, if it is say 5 factorial, what's the meaning of this one? So from the given number, reduce by 1 each and every time and find the product up to 1. All these numbers product from the number up to 1, if you multiply all the numbers, then that is going to be the factorial of that. So it is 120, I think. Correct? So this has to be the output for this. If input is 5, then output has to be 120. That's what the meaning of factorial. Yeah. Then Here, can we also write 5 factorial means starting from 1 and ending by 5? Both are same results or different results? Same results only. So this is also one more way to write the same thing. Correct? Now, can we generate a loop which starts from 1 which ends with 5? Can we generate a loop which starts with 5 and ends with 1? Possible or not possible? Possible. Then each time what we're supposed to do? Multiply. For each time the value we have to multiply and store it into some variable. Correct or not? Yeah, so that is the concept which is there. It's a pretty simple question only. So to start with, for this, if we use a scanner class and take some variable called n for number, which we can read from keyboard. Then there is a reference variable is required to store every time a multiplication result. Correct or not? Yeah. If it is any addition based, if it is sum based, what should be our reference value? So previous program just now we did it. Sum of the even numbers. So we have taken some count. That count is initialized to what is the value of count that we have given? Starting 0.
0.
Why we have given 0? Can I give 10 there?
Because no, sir. It'll add from 10 then. So the starting point should be 0. We should keep on adding one number to that
Yeah.
0.
So when it comes to any addition based, the reference value will be always 0 only as a programmer to assume, because when we are adding something, does 0 makes any difference or no difference? 0 makes no difference when we are doing the addition based things in math or even in programming also. Similarly, when it comes to multiplication, can we take that reference as 0? Can we take as 0? Because if we multiply something into 0, the value is changed. But if you
1.
multiply by 1, the value will be changed? No, that's why
No, sir.
if it is any product based or multiplication based, then in such scenarios, the reference has to be 1, because here 0 makes no difference in addition and here 1 makes no difference in multiplication. It's a point to remember. That's why. So just any variable of our choice. So I'm taking the int fact is my variable because it's a factorial. And this is a reference value. Just now we discussed it. It has to be 1. Then followed by for loop to start with. So for, what's the first number to start? Whichever is comfortable to you, you can go for 5 to 1 or 1 to 5.
1.
I'll keep it simple.
1.
So int I equals 1 to start with. I should be less than or equals up to which value?
Up to n.
5 is not there
N.
in my program. 5 is there for our example.
N, sir.
N. Then followed by each time the value has to be increased by how much? By 1 only. That's why I equals I plus 1. Then the for loop body. What is the purpose of this loop? Multiply that each I value to which? To the reference variable called fact,
Factorial. Fact.
and store that result back
Equals
to
to fact.
fact only.
Factorial.
Correct or not? Because first 1 is there. 1 into which number has to be multiplied next? 2. Then when it comes to iteration 3, the previous result has to be multiplied to 3, no? Yes or no? Then when it comes to 4, the previous entire result has to be multiplied with 4. It means every time we have to store this into some variable, which is reused for multiplication again. That's why the result is stored into same variable. Yeah, so this is the purpose of loop. Loop is only multiplying. And we want multiple outputs to be printed or only one single output. One output means it should be inside a loop or outside a loop. If the print statement is inside a loop, then how many times we'll get the output? For every loop, for every time
5 times.
loop runs, one output we are going to get, 5 outputs we'll get. But we want every step output as first multiplication 1, then second result is 2, then 6, then 24, then 120. This is what our output, or only 120 is output? Only
Only
one time
one.
is the output. That's why outside the loop, system.out.println the variable called fact. Yeah. Now here system.out.println, I want to print I. Can you please tell me what output of this line also? So here we know that we will get 120. For example, if our input is 5, then 120 is output. Correct or not? Then what's I value? Can you please
5.
think? All of you.
5, sir.
Yeah.
5, sir.
Yeah, I got your answer. I'm just waiting for your offline students.
Okay, sir.
Finally, what is the I value when loop terminates? First I is 1, second 2, 3, 4, 5. When I becomes a 6, the loop will be terminated or not? Yes or no? Then what is the I value that we can print here? Okay. So tell me that number. N value I give us 5. 6 is output. Is it so? Hmm. Tell me.
5 comes to 5 plus 1, 6, and then terminates. It is condition is not satisfied.
Yeah, I got your point. I'm asking them. So here one more important thing. Any loop initialization variable, if it is initialized here with data type, or anything is initialized inside the loop, say for example, int some x equals some 1 to 3, some dummy number I'm taking, for example. Then here if I print x variable, what's output? 1 to 3, correct no? So the conclusion is these two are compile time errors, compilation errors. It's not possible. Why? Because any variable which is initialized in the loop header or inside the loop body, fact is initialized inside the loop or outside the loop. That's why we were able to access outside the loop also. But here I is initialized in the loop header. I'll say inside loop only. And X also initialized inside the loop only. So such type of variables are not possible to access outside the loop. Remember this point. That's why we cannot print I, we cannot print X also. These are compilation errors. It's not available.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it now? Yeah.
Yes, sir. If you print inside the loop, we'll get 5, no, sir?
Yeah, inside loop we can do whatever, we'll get the output of it. But outside only it's not possible to access.
Okay, good.